Welcome to the video, everybody. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the 10 best 60s muscle cars. Let's begin. Number 10, the 1962 Pontiac Catalina Super Duty. Kicking off our list, we have the 1962 Pontiac Catalina Super Duty, a full-size beast in an era before the term muscle car was even coined. Back then, Ford, Chevys, and Chryslers with massive engines were tearing up tracks, and Pontiac wasn't going to get left behind. These Catalinas dominated the motorsports, but with a twist. They were lightweight. Instead of just shoving a big engine into a heavy car, Pontiac did something crazy. They went on a diet. Aluminum body panels and hood? In 1962? This was unheard of. It was like a supersized race car wearing a disguise. This car had some serious power too. The engine was a 421 cubic inch Super Duty V8, cranking out 408 horsepower. And guess what? After March 1962, they made them even meaner with bigger valves and a free-flowing intake. Moving on to number 9, we have the 1966 Dodge Corvette Street Hemi. 1966 saw a game-changer hit the streets. This wasn't your average muscle car, it was a street beast born for the racetrack. Here's the story. NASCAR had just banned Chrysler's mighty 426 cubic inch Hemi engine from the competition in 1965. So the manufacturers decided to homologate the engine, making a street-legal version to comply with NASCAR rules. The result? The 1966 Dodge Corvette Street Hemi. But this wasn't just about slapping a race engine in a car. Chrysler's engineers worked their magic to ensure the mighty 425 horsepower Hemi could handle the daily grind of real-world driving in all kinds of weather and at different altitudes. The Corvette wasn't just powerful, it was lightweight too. No wonder it proved to be a turning point in the development of more lightweight muscle cars of the 60s. Moving on to number 8, we have the 1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake. With the sleek lines of a sophisticated sports car and an elegant hood beneath which lurked the heart of a true American beast, the 1967 Shelby Cobra 427 Super Snake was no ordinary muscle car of the 60s. With only 2 ever built, you may think this car was only a piece for the showrooms, but that was far from it. This bad boy was designed to dominate. Carroll Shelby, the godfather of American muscle cars, had a vision: to have the fastest, meanest car the world had ever seen. With the Super Snake, he achieved just that. Can you imagine an 800 horsepower American muscle car in the 1960s? That's right. This car wasn't just powerful, it obliterated the competition with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of 3.6 seconds and a blistering quarter-mile run of 12.3 seconds at 122 miles per hour. Needless to say, the Super Snake is a legend of the 60s muscle car era. Ready to meet number 7? We have the 1969 Chevy Copo Camaro. This wasn't your regular muscle car, but a secret weapon built to order. Copo stood for Central Office Production Order, a way for dealers to get special equipment on non-performance Chevys. Savvy dealers saw a golden opportunity and they started using Copo orders to sneak Chevy's monster 427 cubic V8 engines into lightweight Camaro chassis. This created a factory-built supercar disguised as a regular Camaro. There were 2 main flavors of Copo Camaros. The Copo 9561. This one is packed with a solid lifter L72 iron block 427 with an estimated production of 1,015 units, and the Copo 9560. This was a rarer beast with only 69 built and boasted the aluminum ZL1 427 V8. While the hidden muscle was the main attraction, some Copos even had a secret feature like a burnout juice dispenser. We have officially reached the halfway mark with our number 6 muscle car of the 60s. But before we get there, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Alright, time for number 6 on our list. The 1969 Ford Mustang 428 Cobra Jet. When we picture muscle cars of the 60s and 70s, the Ford Mustang is a staple name that everyone has in mind. But in 1969, the company was struggling as the big block Camaros and Firebirds were stealing the show. Hence, in 1969, Ford Mustang released the 1969 428 Cobra Jet to inject some raw power into the mix and take the fight back to the competitors. But this wasn't your regular Mustang. This car was a thing of beauty that packed a serious punch under the hood. With a monstrous 428 cubic inch V8 engine, horsepower closer to 410, the Cobra Jet was a legend reborn. Did you know this car clocked 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mind-blowing 5.2 seconds? The roar of the Cobra Jet announced the Mustang's return to the top of the muscle car food chain. And speaking of joining the muscle race of the 60s, we have the 1968 AMC AMX. In 1968, American Motors wasn't about to be left out of the muscle car brawl. Hence, they threw their hat into the ring with the 1968 AMC AMX, a two-seater sports car designed to punch above its weight. Sure, the Mustang and Camaro were the giants of the era, but the AMX played to a different strength: agility. It was a lightweight machine, weighing in at 3,000 pounds. It had a 390 cubic inch V8 engine and 315 horsepower to provide the muscle. The most impressive thing about this car was its power-to-weight ratio, which made it a surprising acceleration champion, leaving the bulkier competition in the dust. All in all, the AMX was a high-performance car that stayed true to AMC's commitment to quality, all while attracting a new generation of car enthusiasts. For number 4, we are headed back to the Dodge category, this time with the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona, a car built for one purpose only: NASCAR domination. That's right, the Daytona wasn't a muscle car you'd take on a cruise. It was a champion born for the racetracks. Based on the legendary Charger RT, the Daytona was a marvel of aerodynamic engineering. The car sported a massive 23-inch rear wing, not just for looks, but to provide crucial downforce at high speeds. Under the hood, the Daytona has a legendary power plant with a mighty 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 engine. The combination of muscle and aerodynamics made this one of the fastest cars of the 1960s. Did you know it was the 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona that broke the 200-mile-per-hour barrier for the first time in NASCAR history? We are now in the top 3 best muscle cars of the 60s. Coming in at number 3, we have the 1964 Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. In 1964, Ford literally threw a thunderbolt into the muscle car world with the aptly named Fairlane Thunderbolt. It was a revolutionary beast built for speed on the drag strip and the street. Based on Ford's new mid-size Fairlane platform, this car was a lighter and nimble alternative to the bulkier cars then dominating NASCAR. With a 427 cubic inch FE big block engine, this beast pounded at 425 horsepower, the most of any car in this video so far. But the magic wasn't just in the engine. Ford built the Fairlane Thunderbolt to be a featherweight champion. On to the penultimate muscle car of the 60s, we have the 1965 Pontiac GTO Tri-Power. Back again with Pontiac, but this time we have a fire starter that ignited the 1960s muscle car craze. Pontiac had earlier introduced the GTO trim on their Le Mans model, but with the GTO Tri-Power, they went a step ahead with a sleeker package and a 389 cubic inch powerhouse engine. This bold move paid off in a big way as sales soared, and GM, impressed by the GTO success, gave the green light for Pontiac to keep building more muscle cars. The car itself wasn't just about raw power. It had upgrades all over, from brakes and suspension to the anti-sway bar. The GTO Tri-Power was a far more controllable beast. And now we have the car you've all been waiting for. Number 1 on the list of 10 best muscle cars of the 60s, we have the 1963 Plymouth Savoy Max Wedge. There could only be one king of the muscle cars of the 60s. The 1963 Plymouth Savoy Max Wedge was a tire-shredding, heart-pounding force of nature. Under the hood was one of the most powerful production car engines of the entire era. The 426 cubic inch Max Wedge Big Block V8 had a horsepower of 425, one of the highest you could find in the 60s. Here is what makes this car so interesting. This car offered a 3-speed automatic transmission, a first for a muscle car. This made it accessible for a wide range of drivers. With the Max Wedge, Plymouth regained their pedigree in a massive way. It was a muscle car masterpiece, a testament to Plymouth's engineering prowess, a king that ruled the streets of the 1960s. Thanks for watching as we took a trip down memory lane of the 1960s best muscle cars. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, which helps us produce more content like this. Thanks again. Check back soon.